I feel like as an actor, there's so many boxes that are checked when a project like Mr. Throwback comes across your desk. What was it about this script and character that initially caught your eye and made you want to be a part of it?
Well, it's one of the funniest scripts I've ever read, and I do find it's hard to laugh out loud when you're reading a script because you're just trying to picture it. And with this one, I was sitting there laughing out loud, and my husband was like, "What are you reading?" And I started reading the scenes out loud because I was like, "You gotta hear this. This is crazy." That was firstly a good sign. And then when they told me about the character, I thought, okay, I'm gonna be his ex-wife. Am I gonna be scolding him a lot? What, a TV wife typical
Hmm.
thing. It's not, I don't know. And then when I read it, I was like, oh no, she's wild. She's so funny. And she gets in on the rascal behavior. So that was very exciting.
Like, I think what this series does so brilliantly is that while it is a comedy, it's so grounded in reality, and these characters and their motivations are heightened, but also so relatable. How did you find your way into your character?
Well, and that's what I've been saying. I know that it's insane, but it's pretty grounded, right? Because
Yeah.
it's meant to feel like a documentary. And so that's what's really cool about it because it's not just can we get in as many jokes as possible? It's how can we make this feel real, even though these situations are insane. And so just finding a way to relate and understand this person who I found Sam pretty easy to understand. She cares a lot about her family and
Hmm.
she wants to be able to give her daughter a bigger, better life. And she feels like she kind of has failed at that. And there's just a part of me in there. It wasn't a huge stretch,
Yeah.
for me to get there mentally.
Against her better judgment, Sam finds herself caught up in this line, and it's very much the comedy of errors that makes this show so hilarious to watch. Can you talk a little bit about her dynamic with Danny and how they do try to balance each other out, and what was it like working with Adam?
Oh, Adam's so fun. I just from the very moment we did our chemistry read, it felt right. We just started playing around, had the best time. He felt like familiar to me, like I'd met him before or something, and I hadn't. And it just some roles you want them and you try to force them, but because you want it so bad, but they don't feel right. This just we knew. I was like, this is the right show. I have to be part of this show. And he's such a maniac and wild and a great improviser, but also an incredibly sensitive, present person who's really listening and really clicked in. So we could go into wild places with improv and then come back and be there with each other emotionally. And it's a very rare person that can do all that. And he's a special person.
That's the perfect segue to this next question that I have for you. But it was really important to the creative team that you all had the room and runway to improvise what felt most natural to you and your character. How did that environment push you creatively? And is there a scene that you improvise that you're really excited for audiences to see?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. I will just say most of it felt the writing is so good. We didn't need to add jokes. Usually you improv because you are trying to add more jokes. It really didn't need that. Most of the improv and some jokes we did that, but most of it was just trying to make the situation feel as real as possible, make the relationships feel as real as possible. We're just messing around, we're having fun. And the creators really gave us the space to feel that out in my
Mm.
house, the different areas we were just being having fun together. And so that's why the whole thing to me felt so lived in and so present. And then they're just capturing it on camera because it's a less formal way of shooting,
Mm.
because it's supposed to be a documentary and it's not
Yeah.
as not blocking and lights in the same way. So it just was like, oh, okay, did you guys shoot that? Is there a camera somewhere? Like it just so much more natural than I'm used to.
I also love the friendship that's formed between your character and Kimberly and how they hold space for one another. Who are the women in your own life who've held space for you in a similar way? What was it like collaborating with Ego on that?
Oh, it was so fun. I mean, Ego's so funny and also such a great actress. I mean, it just is a cast of absolute killers. Like Tien
Yeah.
Tran, Blair Beacon are both brilliant comedians and such good actors that whenever we're all in scenes together, it just was magical. And I find that a lot with a lot of the women I work with that it's incredibly supportive and we make friends right away. And I've always had a big group of girlfriends because I think it's one of the most, to me, one of the most things I value the most. And I have a group of hometown friends I grew up with. There's 12 of us, and we're all still best friends. And my friend Nellie is actually here right now, and we're writing a feature film, and we've known each other since we were 9, 10, 10, 10. So yeah, it's important to me, and it felt that way on set too. Everyone was very welcoming.